Testing, testing. There we go. I don't know why in God's name I fucking hate OBS. It always desyncs my fucking mic for some reason. But hey, I'm glad I caught that like early. Okay. I'm glad I caught that early. How's it going, everybody? Oh man, it has been one crazy hell of a week, and the reason why I haven't been streaming for a good while lately is because I've been prepping for my surgery this Thursday. Yeah, this Thursday. So yeah, I'm gonna have a surgery. It's not nothing too serious. It's just kind of a what is it called again? I keep calling it I keep wanting to call it a piston, but it's called this pistolus left arm. Hold on, I got the damn thing. I always keep calling it a pistolus for some reason. Fistula. There we go. Left arm fistula. Because I'm going on dialysis, so that's gonna be fun. Unfortunately, I can't really apply for Medicare until I actually was on dialysis. So yeah, they're pretty much extorting me for money. I got the money to cover for it, so nothing too bad. Thank God I've been working this entire time. But how's it going, everybody? How's it going? Jayzilla, nice to see you. How's it going? Um, yo, this Kris shit with like Mr. Beast and everything. This shit is fucking crazy because I want people to hear me out on this, okay? So I have a code, a morality code at best, and that code is and sorry if you hear the fan, it's really hot in here. And that code is morality by itself is the devil in disguise, right? Now I want to make this abundantly clear at the beginning of the stream. This does not mean everyone who is talking about this Kris situation with Mr. Beast is a pedophile. I want to make that abundantly clear, okay? But at the exact same time, I want people to understand that just because you have a group of people talking about the actions of one person, like, there's a couple of things I want you guys to take it home with. Just because one's actions, one whose identity does something bad, right? That's not representative of everyone, okay? So I want to make that abundantly clear. I don't care about the trans agenda and all that other fucking shit, because I'm about reducing harm. And while there is a LGBTQ agenda, right, the thing they want you to do, because these motherfuckers are good at violence, they want you to be violent. Because when you're violent, you justify everything that they said about you for the past 10 fucking years. So you got a lot of dumbasses who keep stoking the flames about, the LGBTQ, they're all pedophiles. Every person that's a trans, every person that's a this, every person with rainbow hair, they're a pedophile. I want to make this abundantly clear when I say this. One of them was hopping on this fucking train, who's also getting accolades from other prominent YouTubers, is a fucking pedophile. And I'm going to call him that too, because he is a legitimate pedophile. And he is talking about the situation as if he's God in Christ. But that's because he's masked himself under the red pill community. And that's another community that's got a lot of fucking pedophiles in it too. Right? Like no one second guesses like a bunch of men constantly surrounding themselves with women who probably look like barely legal, making them look dumb, flying them out to their locations so they can have one-on-one conversations, or like, one man with many women conversations about, dating and all this other shit. That's another community that's filled with a bunch of fucking pedophiles. So I want to make one thing abundantly clear. Pedophilia is a mental illness. It is not isolated to any party. It is not isolated to any community. All right? Red pills got pedophiles. Right wings got pedophiles. Left wings got pedophiles. A lot of communities, from white, black, Latino, Asian, a lot of people got pedophiles. The problem is when you have all these communities, right, constantly pointing their finger at other people, and they're not monitoring their own fucking community, right? That creates a backdoor, right? It's the same thing with the left, right? Two things happen when it comes to, like, with the left calling everybody on the right white supremacists, right? Two things happen. One, it purifies every white supremacist on the left, but it also hides every white supremacist on the right. Because throughout the entire lambasting of an entire political spectrum of them being white supremacists, right? People start being very sympathetic towards white people, which is understandable, right? I'm pretty sure a lot of us could sit here and say we are against racism. The colloquial term, which is basically the concept of one race being superior over another. Not the new term, which is basically prejudice plus power. Not that one. That definition is just a definition created to allow people to be racist so long as they feign being weak when they're not weak. Because money is power, right? And a lot of these black progressives, right? Even white ones do. They keep feigning that they're weak and that they're oppressed and that the system's holding them back. But at the exact same time, right? At the exact same time, they have the most money out of everybody that watches them. So they're not oppressed, but they keep yelling that they're oppressed. So it's that method of like purifying the room, where you're saying everybody on this side is this, everybody on this side is this, everybody on this side is this. My stance on the whole Kris thing is this: simple, straightforward. Take this shit to the cops, take it to the FBI, shut the fuck up. That's it. No milking this fucking this situation with like video after video after video about, oh, we got this, oh, we confirmed that Jimmy actually knows something. I've seen one video. I need to watch some other ones where they're like, Jimmy knew about Kris's interactions, and the only proof I've seen so far is a tweet from one of his coworkers saying he knew, and they're using that as proof. And I'm like, what is this? What is this BLM crap? What is this BLM crap where it's like Trump's a racist, right? And the proof that we have that he's a racist is his tweet where he says, if the looting starts, the shooting starts. He means all you black people. Oh my God, he's so racist. Wait, why does it have to be only the black people? Because we're trying to make a narrative? Oh. So we're going to go over, because I'm going to show you a video from a good channel. I like these guys, by the way. Their name is Apostate Prophet, and I forgot the other guy's name. The Dizzle? I guess that's his channel name. Let me do this so I don't accidentally show something on screen that doesn't need to be shown. Okay, so I like these guys. Because you want to know why? They're focusing on real issues of pedophilia, right? Real, actual issues of pedophilia. And one of those issues is Islam, the religion of pedophilia. And I don't give two shits in a solid fuck what you think about what I say about that. Like, that religion is literally the religion of pedophilia. When you're talking about an ideology that facilitates and ultimately does defend pedophiles, by the way, Islam is that type of ideology. It is disgusting how Kris liked even an interactive shut, man. Honestly, don't see. I hated this YouTube thing. I don't know why it cuts off your chat like that. I honestly don't see all the videos on Kris as an issue, since they are probably just reporting on it. Yeah. I'm not saying they're all the issue. I'm just saying a lot of people do need to like keep an eye on this kind of stuff. Like, don't get so lost in the morality of it and thinking if everyone has, because that's the problem. Like, everyone thinks if everyone has the same opinion about Kris, that's an ally, that's a team, that's a member, that's a person that's on the right side of history, or that's a person that's fighting against the woke, or whatever type of, catchphrase that says, this is the team that I need to side with. This is the evil team. This is the good team. This is gold team. This is silver team. I will silver team. Silver team rules. You guys suck. We're the ultimate good. You guys are the ultimate evil. That's the thing that I'm trying to highlight. So I said it at the very beginning of the stream. This is not a statement saying that everyone talking about Kris is a fucking pedophile. Okay? I'm just saying, not everyone reporting on this is an ally. Right? Not everyone reporting on this is an ally, because you have, and this is why I don't like the commentary channel. Well, not channel, but the commentary community. It's a cesspool of criminals, degenerates, just reporting on other criminals and degenerates. That's basically all it is. And then because they don't really do a lot of research on other people, right? They only do research on people when like somebody, highlights somebody. That's like the weakness of like commentary channels. They only do research on people that highlight other people that they did research on other people. So it's kind of like I'm gonna call it the blossoming effect or the blooming effect, where it's kind of like you have like a rose bush or something, and then all the roses start blooming one after another. and then you got some that are good, and then you got some that are bad. It's kind of like that, where you have a bush full of good roses and bad roses. But then you have the person, right, who's probably like a very bad person. Let's just say he's the label of ultimate evil. He's the axis of evil, right? And he wants to make the bush, the rose bush, look bad. So he's not going to pick the good videos, right, that actually has, or the good roses that actually has the good quality. He's going to pick the roses that are bad, specifically out of that entire bush of roses. And he's going to go, because of these bad buds, that whole bush of roses needs to be thrown out. So then, because I think that's the big reason why, like Hypnotic, he was on Twitter not too long ago talking about how his videos was taken down, and he thinks he's being silenced. I don't think he's being silenced because of his opinion. I think what's happening is, especially if they don't know how to adapt, I do notice some of these YouTubers, and even in the comment sections, and Sneeko's proof of this too, because they got this warped mind LGBTQ agenda shit, right? Because they have this mindset, Kris isn't an individual, and his actions isn't his own. His actions is representative of the activists of the LGBTQ. And I can almost guarantee you money the people who actually got their videos deleted were in those videos doing exactly that. They're not innocent, okay? They're not innocent. And if that is the case, those videos were rightfully taken down. Because you have to ask yourself this question. Okay, even if there is an LGBTQ agenda, how many times have you seen comments from other trans people saying, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with what that guy did. But then at the same time, you also have to ask yourself this question. How many straight men in these anti-woke channels are even acknowledging those comments? Or even acknowledging that? And how many of those people actually do want to unalive trans people, even if they are not of that caliber of like Kris? Like, these people are truly being radicalized. I still see Kris interacting with minors on social media. Do you now? Twitter, Instagram, and Discord, a huge red flag. Yeah, I actually agree with that. Because my whole thing about it was, I didn't see a victim, and at first I thought it was like a hoopla. And I was like, well, because especially with that first video, because you saw that one, Jayzilla. Like, the guy was just doing tweet after tweet after tweet after tweet of him liking Lolly Khan. I'm like, okay, like, where's the victim? Where's the no victim? And this is why I hate the commentary community. It's one person is like doing a half-ass job actually explaining the fucking situation, and then if you form your opinion off that one video, then you end up inadvertently defending a pedophile. But if you actually watch several other channels, then you actually get a good grasp on things. But yeah, side scrollers actually had a lot more information. But I don't know. I feel like this is something that needs to be taken to the FBI. Like, the actions of this man. Like, enough of these videos, like, one's good enough. And if anyone has like the most information, you need to take that shit to the FBI, take it to the cops, let them handle it. Because we need to get out of this funk of the corporation needs to do something. Which is basically the socialist take, by the way, you anti-socialists. And we need to have some form of of trust within our institutions. And that's the problem, is that there's no trust within our institutions anymore. And if you don't trust them, hey, by all means, enlist, take up service. You know, don't do the vigilante shit, because you're just opening yourself up for lawsuits at that point. And then what's your excuse? Oh, the government's persecuting me. I was just stopping pedophiles, and I'm being arrested because I was stopping a pedophile. Okay, where's the evidence? Well, I don't have any evidence, but you're siding with the pedophile. Okay, so you don't have no evidence, and you just killed this person for no fucking reason. Okay, but I'm gonna go ahead and start with this video. So this video right here, right? Actually, no, hold up. Before we actually start with the video, let me show you exactly what made me bring this video back up. So we're gonna go on to Twitter first, where you have the compilation of pedophiles compiling together to talk about other pedophiles. So we're on Keemstar's Drama Alert page, right? And he's giving props to Sneeko, talking about Sneeko, and I'm gonna read the tweet. Sneeko questions Pokimane and other streamers for calling out Dr. Disrespect's allegations, but not Kris Tyson's. You actually have receipts and you haven't said a word yet. Okay, so my opinion on the whole Dr. Disrespect thing, I'm just gonna wait until all the information is out, because all the information is not out, right? So I'm not gonna make no statements on that shit whatsoever. I'm gonna wait till that court case comes out, and then whatever happens, fucking happens. That's my fucking opinion. That's my take. Now, this motherfucker is legitimately a pedophile, and I'm not using that term lightly. Like, he actually legitimately is a pedophile. And Apostate Prophet, and I left a comment on the post too, saying hashtag KLM is BLM, going, you dumbass, Sneeko is a pedophile too. Dude was hitting on minors on his stream and was talking to a Muslim activist on stream, talking about how to properly fuck a 9-year-old without harming them. Destiny even pushed on him about this shit too. Oh my god, take this to the cops, you freaking monkeys. And like, this is what I'm talking about, where this unification crap, you're often hooking up with people who aren't that good either. Like, BLM was a perfect example, if you remember the Summer of Love back in 2020, where you had people joining together on a cause that they believed that the systemic racism was a real thing, and a white cop snuffed out the life of an innocent black person. And everybody started marching in the streets. Suits, ties, and I'm separating the protesters from the rioters, by the way. So the protesters, you got nothing to worry about. I ain't talking about you. I'm only talking about the rioters, okay? Opportunists. Separating the two, right? Where you would think the majority of the people gathering in the streets would be gathering for the right reasons. But that's not the case. Especially when you have a lot of people who can look at situations like that and go, well, what do I want to do, right? What am I going to get out of marching for somebody who looks like me, that if I saw him on the streets and he owes me $5, I was going to put lead on him anyways, you know? Or I can take advantage of the political discord, right? And I can rob convenience stores. I can rob from Walmart, Target. I can essentially rob from my own community of predominantly black individuals, while also yelling Black Lives Matter. and take our opportunities away because I'm virtuous. When in actuality, you're not virtuous. You're just an opportunist piece of shit. And also keep in mind, there were some people who, there were some black people in those communities that noticed, like some of these motherfuckers don't even live here. Like they came from out of town, and they were chasing them out. But at that point, the deed was done. That was the new KKK back then. But now we got KLM, where you got a bunch of fucking pedophiles gathering around with a bunch of pedophiles talking about another pedophile simply because the pedophile is trans, while the other people are straight white males, or just straight males in general. which is hilarious, by the way. And again, I'm gonna keep reiterating this because I don't want people thinking I'm calling everybody who is attacking Kris a pedophile. I have to keep reiterating it because I do know for a fact that the people who actually more than likely are pedophiles, they gotta clip chimp their way into making me look like a bad person. They'll take me out of context. So I'm gonna constantly keep saying that. I'm just saying, be aware of the people who are talking about this kind of stuff, because they ain't squeaky clean either. Like, I can understand why a lot of people that don't have a lot of trust within mainstream media, but at least mainstream media has a background check. What do these fuckers got? What do I got? Especially with anonymity, everyone is just a bunch of zeros and ones with anime profile pictures or video game pictures or photos. Like, you don't know who the hell you're talking to on this fucking platform. You don't know who the hell you're talking to on the internet. So I'm gonna play this video from Apostate Prophet where they show the clip of Destiny grilling Sneeko on his belief on Islam, since he wanted to be a fucking Muslim. So I also wanted to make another point. I need to find that clip too. A lot of clip chips, can't say it right, clip chimps, there we go, we're trying to paint Destiny as a fucking pedophile with that 13-second clip. That's not real. It was taken out of context. The question was is there a clinical use for using CP? And it was it's on Twitter. I got it on the Twitter. Let's see. Because I talked about it too. I think it was that pyramid guy. Yeah, this one. I think I need to go back. Oh, crap. I don't know how to use Twitter. I'm sorry, guys. How do I go back to the original? Oh, boy. How do I go back to the original comment? I mean, not the comment, the original post. Ah, crap. I don't know how to go back to it. Okay, let me just do this. I'm going to just look myself up because I also quote tweeted it, so it should be on my timeline. Here it is. Yeah, they took him out of context. This is actually what he was talking about.
Completely eradicating the age of consent. He thinks that all the way down to 0, you should be able to fuck people. And I was of
the...
Okay, not right. So here was the full context of the conversation. I was having a debate against Amosi, who is pro completely eradicating the age of consent. He thinks that all the way down to 0, you should be able to fuck people. And I was of the anti position that the age of majority is typically correct in consenting sexual activity because people that are too young aren't able to make these decisions, et cetera, et cetera. In the course of this conversation, I don't remember how, but somehow child porn came up. There is an argument that some researchers have made where they have said it is possible that in a clinical...
I would like a source for this argument.
Source! Need a source!
Yes, please. I mean, you
I
love
posted
asking
3 of
people
them in the
quick
chat. I posted 3 of them in the chat. Feel free to go through them. So there are some researchers that have pointed out that in countries where porn, including child porn, have been legalized, the amount of offenses has dropped. So some people have theorized that maybe in a clinical setting, we could have pedophiles that are undergoing treatment, that we could procure child porn that has already been made from consenting adults who it's already been made from. You could share it with them in a clinical setting as part of their treatment to move them into an area where they wouldn't offend against children. So the idea was maybe there is a way where we can introduce it in these environments to prevent the number of children getting raped. That was the point of this. Now,
So
is it possible? Can you please shut the fuck up? What is the population?
There's so many questions about this.
So the question comes down to whether or not this is an effective means of doing this. If it reduces the number of children getting raped, then it's probably a good thing. If it has no impact and the people still go out and they abuse children at the same numbers or whatever, then it's probably a really fucking bad idea. The entire point of the question was that there might be a way in which you could introduce this in which you prevent the number of children getting raped. And since I'm all for less children getting raped, it sounded like an idea that, I don't know, would be interesting for the researchers to do some more exploration of. That was the entire context of this argument.
What about
And I agree with that because I've been reading studies on this stuff. It actually is a pretty plausible case because I posted in the community, on my community page, a study of the effect of pornography and what happened when the communists of Czech banned pornography or any obscene material. It increases harm towards women and children. So to the people who are out here saying all porn needs to be banned, right? Anyone who is saying that, you're thinking purely from morality. And because you are thinking purely from morality and you're not thinking of it through historical, what are the ramifications based on historical evidence of what happens when you ban porn? Women and children are on the menu. That's the problem. So when you take into consideration the increasing number of men who can't find a girlfriend, the increasing number of young men who can't find a girlfriend around their age, whether it be the lack of confidence, no father in the home, or genetically dispositioned to the point to where they're not physically attractive, or any type of reason why they can't get a mate. And you're talking about banning porn? Do you realize what happens when you piss off a large majority of your male population that is of army age? They start to unalive you, right? The men, they'll unalive you when you're older and you're not in the prime of your life. And then when they unalive you, they go after the women and children and do whatever the hell they want with them. And I agree with Destiny on that. And any person who is going around with that 13-second clip, like, I understand. Like, don't get me wrong. I understand the whole thing with Destiny's take on Trump's assassination. Poor taste. Made him sound like a piece of shit. But see, here's the thing. That only makes him sound like a piece of shit. You know what makes a person really sound like pro-pedo? Pro-rape? When you take a clip of someone you just hate just simply because he attacked your Lord and Savior, Donald J. Trump. And you take him out of context. And if people find out that within the context it is to reduce harm, you are pro-harm. So when I say anyone, and I think I remember Hypnotic made a video on this shit too. Using that 13-second fucking clip to talk about how bad Destiny is. That makes you pro-pedo. Right? Because I've been doing a lot of research on this kind of stuff. And it's amazing how you have these people, they use all this fucking logic. And then not only that, not only Hypnotic and a whole bunch of other people, their video on Kris also shows an ulterior motive. Like, this is the one of the other big criticism that I have with a lot of people's videos on Kris and the whole situation. I'm not defending Kris, by the way. I want to make that abundantly clear. The biggest issue I had is exactly what Rev says Desu and a lot of people from the Lala community and the hentai community and the anime community who's aware of this have been saying since day one. Why is it, if you think Lolicon is CP, you are clearly showing it on your videos to your viewers? But it's edited. I hided the the breasts and the the cleavage and the V area. Wait. You edited what you believe is CP? Well, if you're editing it, that doesn't mean it's CP. That means it's art. You can't edit CP, you moron. Right? Because CP, in real life CP, is not protected by the law in any way, shape, or form. So even if I zoom in at the corner, right, and you don't see nothing, but even if you can hear the audio, and it can be implied that sexual sounds of genitals smacking against each other, that's still CP, bro. And it will be taken down immediately. So you got a lot of these motherfuckers. That's one of my biggest criticisms of everybody on the Kris making the videos and the Kris thing. You can go after Kris, but go after the motherfucker informed. Go after him informed. Because Lolicon is not CP, it's art. Because if it was CP, and if you honestly do believe it's CP, each and every one of your channels should be taken down. Because you constantly show it. You constantly show what you believe is something that's against your morality. And you share it like you share real CP with other pedophiles. That's one of my biggest criticisms on the people that are talking about Kris. Other than that, Kris can rot in hell. I don't get two shits and fuck about that. But I'm going to give Mr. Beast a chance to actually talk. Because, the last time he actually responded on his Twitter, it's like, I think it was like back in April 2022. So I'm going to give him time to talk. But other than that, yeah, big criticisms about the people who have been making videos on this shit. Because, yeah, you guys are dumb. Hella dumb. All right, so let's go back to the video. As I was about to show you why Sneeko, who is then giving props by Keemstar, by the way. And there's also another individual, too. He's not a pedophile, but considering that he has allegations, I'm not entirely too sure about the issues on that because I didn't read up on it. So take this with a grain of salt. Even Andrew Tate, the man who was arrested for sex trafficking women, allegedly, right? Allegedly, because I didn't read up on the information on that one, so I'm gonna say allegedly, was sex trafficking women, is also on this fucking bandwagon with Kris. I wanted to throw that out too, and I also want to clear Destiny's name. Yeah, he's a piece of shit about talking about Trump like that and the firefighter. But at the exact same time, that is no justification for anyone to be a piece of shit too.
Who brings it up? A child is not capable of consent. It has to be a consenting adult, according to Sneeko. So a 9-year-old girl is not consenting, and therefore a pedophile who's attracted to her, he should be told, stop doing that. Here's what's weird. He goes around defending child marriage now because he's been told by the Dawa guys, But all of his thinking right there is exactly what we'd want to say about Muhammad.
Yes. Yes.
Isn't that
So
weird?
it just backfired on you.
That's weird,
That's
though.
Problem with it at all. We think that it's just because we have a different idea of what it means to be a child, which can be tracked historically. But now, if the situation has changed, we say that the general principle in Islam is, you can do what you kind of want, so long as, I'm not going to say you can do what you want so long as you harm. You can marry whomever you want to marry, so long as it doesn't cause them harm, physical and psychological. So, for example, if I marry a 100-year-old woman, or Sneeko, if you marry with your tank top a 100-year-old woman.
This is funny because Muhammad.
So we're talking about this. This is why I say Islam is a really big threat, because it literally justifies you marrying anybody. But don't worry, it gets a lot worse. It gets a lot worse.
Job now in this discussion where he gives his great Islamic opinion to the little Sneeko, and this is long before this conversation with Destiny, by the way. He is coming at it from a different perspective. He's not even bringing up consent. What he brings up is actually what matters in Islam, by the way, which is that according to Islamic law, in Islamic tradition, for over 1,000 years, close to 1,400 years possibly, it has been always the principle that you can marry a girl at any age. You could arrange a marriage as soon as she's born. However, you can only get together and consummate the marriage if you are if the girl will not be physically harmed.
That's the only requirement, guys. So long as you do not physically harm the girl whose genitalia is too small for you to actually penetrate, but then, actual pedophiles may actually not be that damn big, so that's why they probably go after fucking children. But, that's just speculation. I can't really pin that down. But mostly, like, the thing you need to take away about predators is they always go after what's easy. Right? And I think that's the one thing I never noticed. I'm not saying like nobody says this, but the one thing I never noticed, people within the anti-lolly discussion or the anti-lolly side or the anti-lolly community, they never talk about the mindset of a predator, which is the most important thing you actually need to talk about, because in order for you to actually defend against something, right, you need to know how it thinks, need to know how to talk, and need to know how to act. And the one thing predators do, right, is they go after the most easy, most convenient thing available. Excuse me. They go after what's easy. So if they had a choice, and I think I said this like several times in that lolly discussion video stream that I did, but I'll say it again in short terms. If a predator had a choice between masturbating to a drawing of Rebecca, who was a lolly, who was 18, versus going through the process of locating, isolating, subduing, kidnapping, and then physically violating the bodily autonomy of that child, which is the easier thing they're going to go with? They're going to go with masturbating. Right? But if you ban porn, the substitute for male gratification goes away. So then where are they gonna get their socks off at? Women and children become part of the menu. And that's why I'm against anyone who says ban pornography. Now, keep in mind, I'm not saying there's no such thing as porn addiction, right? But we have to look at this with a critical lens in order for us to not only solve the problem, but also not cause a problem where we cause another problem, and then the motherfuckers who caused the fucking problem come in and go, wait a minute, I got a solution with that. I got a solution for that. I mean, I may have been the one who caused it originally, but I got a solution for that too. Trust me, it's gonna work, guys. And then they constantly make the government more fat with power and legislation and red tape. That's the thing I'm calling out, and that's the thing we need to fucking stop.
Permanently as a result of sexual interaction. So it should be it should be made, it should be ensured that the girl will not be harmed, she will not be permanently damaged. And I know David likes to explain the details of that even further. I just don't want to do that at the moment.
Yeah, guys, and Muhammad Hijab knows this, right? Muhammad Hijab knows this. One, if you read this harm principle that he's talking about is just sort of a general thing, don't harm people, which you can't apply in all situations because they believe in violently subjugating the entire world and taking female captives and stuff. So
that's basically Islam's whole
on what they're talking
ideology
about as far as harming people and so on. But Hijab understands that some of his scholars have applied this to marrying children. They say, but make sure it doesn't cause harm. What, and Hijab knows this. He knows when he's talking to Sneeko and he says, oh yeah, but you can't be harming the he knows everyone's thinking, oh, okay, well, you can't be banging the kid until the kid is totally ready. That right?
Nope.
That's what everyone's thinking. That's not what the Muslim scholars mean by harm. They mean basically two things. One, if she's so tiny that you're going to crush her during sex, don't do it, because you want to you've paid a bride price and stuff, and now you're going to be with this girl for a while. You don't want to crush her, so that's one thing. Make sure,
like, it's a really sick ideology.
Sure she's a little chubby and stuff like that. And there's even hadiths where Aisha said that her mom had to fatten her up. Said she had to fatten her up to send her to Muhammad. So they want a little meat on your bones for cushioning, so you don't get crushed by this guy if you're a little girl. And the other is, they were concerned about a girl being so small that you rupture her vagina and then turn the two holes into one hole, in which case you've damaged your girl for the rest of her life. That's the sort of thing that can be repaired today through surgery and so on. But for most of the history of Islam, it's a concern. You get this little girl, and then you rip her open, and now I just ruined my girl, and now I'm all out of luck because now.
But you know what's worse than that, guys? Lolicon. 2D fictional characters banging each other and they don't even exist. That's dangerous, guys. But the prerequisites of an Islamist, which a lot of these people do want to implement Sharia law in America, by the way. That their prerequisite is, so long as the tiny child, who's not a child in their eyes, by the way, is fat enough to not get crushed during sex, and so that you are not harming the child by rupturing the vagina and the anus into one. But the biggest threat is like fucking 2D drawings.
The two holes have become one and so on. This girl's messed up for life. That's what they're worried about. That's what they meant by don't harm. And so that's Islam.
Yeah, that is.
And Hijab knows that. Hijab knows that, and he knows people are misinterpreting him, and that's an acceptable form of deception for him.
And so this is what he's actually presenting here, but not presenting accurately. He's misrepresenting it deliberately. However, he is actually addressing it, despite his cowardice in delivering it, from the actual Islamic perspective, without going into the details that David just roughly presented.
Now, a lot of people are probably going to be like, well, he misinterpreted it, right? That doesn't make Sneeko a pedophile, right? Okay, well, let's give Sneeko the ability, the benefit of the doubt. And let's look at his debate with Destiny and see what he thinks about Islam when he was told about the requirements of being able to have sex with a 9-year-old.
Worldview. What should the age of consent be?
Do you see how?
You see how you want to answer the question? You see how he's going to yap and not answer?
Oh, this is what I love about Destiny. You see that moment? This is what I love about Destiny.
And I'm going to go back. Actually, no, that was the beginning. That was the beginning.
On modern meta ethics or whatever, if you want to answer basic questions about your worldview, what should the age of consent be?
Do you see how?
You see how you want to answer the question? You see how he's going to yap and not answer?
Oh, this is what I love about Destiny. You see that moment? This is what I love about Destiny. Right there, right that. So you see immediately how Sneeko is trying to sneak out of it, and because he's Sneeko, and tries to distract from it by talking about Destiny's intentions here. Destiny realizes immediately what he's doing and stops him right there and calls him out. This is sharp. This is why I love this guy.
On modern meta ethics or whatever, if you want to answer basic questions about your worldview, what should the age of consent be?
Do you see how?
You see how you want to answer the question? You see how he's going to yacht and not answer the question? I'm going to ask the same thing when you're done. Go ahead.
I just answered the question. I just told
What was the age?
I just told you at a developed age.
Sneeko thinks you should be able to.
A developed age, guys. When the person's a develop. Hey, wait, isn't that what the Muslim activist said? So Sneeko is using the misconception as a tool to avoid saying, with him being Islam, right? Him liking Islam. I think he left. I'm not entirely sure. He kind of bounces around. He doesn't know who the hell he is. He's a self-hating Filipino. And of course he's a self-hating Filipino because he hangs out with Nick Fuentes. And he doesn't have a place in his world. Which doesn't make any sense. But hey, you know, self-hating Filipino doesn't have a place in a white nationalist world. You know what I mean? But yeah. So he uses the same tactic that Hajib does, where he uses the misconception to avoid answering the question directly. He doesn't give a specific age. He uses something that's very vague and very broad to where he answers the question, but without specifically giving an age that makes Sneeko a fucking pedophile.
Honestly, or he's going to have to give a different answer, in which case he's updated his morality, he's updated his views, and that's really uncomfortable for him. You don't have an answer to any of this shit, bro. Go back to fucking that corner in London where you're getting roasted by year one debaters.
Like, and then there was another one where another video I found where this man is outright defending cuties. You know, the literal documentary where it was made specifically by some French actors. It was some people from France about trying to warn people about the over-sexualization of like little girls by using little girls dressed over-sexually to convey the message. Like, you know my position on that, right? I said the only time that ever would have been like acceptable in order for you to have the maximum emotional impact is if you animated that and all the people that were doing the voice acting were adults. You get to have the narrative, the message, and since they're fictional characters, right, you can do whatever you want to them and you don't cross any moral or ethical lines. Look at that. Then you would have beautifully conveyed the message that sexualizing little girls is not okay. Without being a hypocrite in your fucking principles. Okay, I thought I saw a comment. But let me see if I can pull that video up. It was another video where he was outright fucking defending cuties. And his excuse for defending cuties is basically well, because it's LGBTQ. Well, no, it's against LGBTQ, and simply because the main character comes from I forgot what family she comes from, like a religious household, right? He was promoting it he was defending it in like the framing of like a religious household, like conservative values and shit. And I'm over here like, so you didn't see the parts where they were using the minors who were clearly prepubescent under the age of 13 in sexual manners, and like the camera is like literally zooming into the fucking crotch of these fucking kids as they're dancing provocatively on stage. And I'm over here like, okay, that's interesting framing there, Sneeko. Let me find it real quick. Interesting fucking framing. And keep in mind, he's on Twitter being heralded by Keemstar. Herald by Keemstar about Kris. It's a pedophile being held up by a dumbass talking about another pedophile. Like, this is some literal KLM shit. This is like some BLM shit. This is the definition of the enemy. This is like not the definition, but the real action of the enemy of my enemy is my friend. This is like this is it. Like, this is honestly what it is. It's just the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Okay, here it is. So then I'm gonna put this in the tab.
This is the video. I saw Cuties last night and it was pretty good. It's a pretty good movie. I went in ready to hate like everybody else. I saw the cover and I got clickbaited. So did you. You got clickbaited. This is one of the movies that's gonna age well. Like right now the outrage is really strong, so saying something like this video probably already has half dislikes. And I even tweeted like, Cuties is clickbait. This was a pretty good movie. And everybody replying like, I'm unfollowing.
I don't know what to say.
Like Cuties is
a pretty good film, to be honest. It's just clickbait marketing studios are learning from YouTubers. Interesting opinion there, Sneeko.
Clickbait. This was a pretty good movie. And everybody replying like, I'm unfollowing you. This is the limit, Sneeko. This is the limit. I can guarantee you, none of you saw the fucking movie, dummies. How do you criticize a movie that you didn't see? What's really funny is how different the covers are for the release of the European version of Cuties and the American version of Cuties. The European version is just like a normal thing. It says mignon and just like girls playing, because to them, this is a movie about growing pains, about childhood. It's a coming of age film. But here, we only see the most provocative parts of the film. We only see the girls.
The movie that is perfectly fine because you watched it has the most provocative parts. What are those provocative parts there, Sneeko? What are those provocative parts? You've seen it. You know exactly what's in there, you motherfucker.
Dressed down. We only see the twerking, and we get.
Hey, Keemstar, what are those provocative parts? That's in Cuties, by the way. I'm pretty sure you probably saw it too, right? Huh? You know, everyone's a fucking pedophile hunter and professional pedophile hunter. This is why I don't go hunting for shit. I let motherfuckers come to me.
Get mad immediately. That's why the cover looks like it's a beauty pageant. I thought it was going to be a reality show about girls dancing. It's completely the opposite. The reason that I uninstalled TikTok was because every time I'd go on, there would be a probably a 13-year-old girl dancing to WAP. There's some whores in this. The thing about Cuties is it's not an unrealistic film. Like, yes, it shows.
And that's another thing I gotta point out, right? Ain't it kind of funny that this man hides behind the skirts of like black people? Talking about how degenerate black people are with WAP. Which, by the way, that is degenerate. And it is disgusting. Especially when you're talking about like 4-year-old girls wanting to hear WAP within the kindergarten class. Asking their teacher to want to hear WAP. Rather than, I don't know, listen to like My Little Pony maybe, or Gummy Bears or something. Like, what's that one thing my niece always fucking watch? It's the one with the shark where it's go. Yeah, that. Every kid should be singing that, but for some reason you do have like, strangely enough, only black toddlers talking about they want to listen to WAP. Weird.
Those children in a sexual way, but this is not unusual now. And the people who are really mad about this aren't Gen Z. What the film actually points out is a difference between generations, how it doesn't really make sense to force kids to be in this completely religious praying, throwing water on them, and the only
keep in mind this guy just when was this anyways? This is like a year ago. I forgot when he gripped into being a Muslim. I forgot when that happened. This man has, when I say this man is self-hating and he has no identity, I literally fucking mean it. He hates himself. He hangs around white nationalists. They don't value him. They only value him because he's a dumbass. And he's talking about half of the generation, you know, from his generation, Gen Z and onward, are apparently, by his admission, pedophiles? Because only they can understand the beauty of cuties? What? You see what I mean? You see what I mean with this crap right here? Now, imagine, if you will, right? How many people, because let me also bring up the I already talked about fucking Andrew Tate. So that guy's not even good either. So the thing you really got to ask yourself this question is this: how pure is all this? And then not only that, you got people who are like using Kris's situation to defend Dr. Disrespect. Right? Because, you know, you got to protect the straight white male, right? I mean, yeah, he tried to meet up with a minor. We haven't seen everything yet, which is, I agree with that. We haven't really seen everything. And I'm going to hold my opinion on the Dr. Disrespect thing until all the receipts and all the information, and he went to court and he got it settled, whether he's guilty or not. Then we'll look at it right then. But you got a lot of his defenders, right? They're enshrined in that cult personality, where they're going, well, everyone persecuted Dr. Disrespect and all the information ain't out, and now all of a sudden, you know, the gays and the lesbians and the trans and the bis and the queers, all of a sudden, when one of their gods, right? When one of their gods turns out to be a pedophile, all of a sudden the energy dies down. Huh? Keep that same energy up, guys. Keep it up. Keep it. Okay. Like, do you realize how fucking stupid this is? Where you have two groups of people, right? You have two camps. Pedophile A of straight white male upset with group pedophile B who are trans. Not all of them. I want to keep that in mind, right? We're cutting those in half. It could be a 51% majority, or it could be a 49% majority, right? We don't know. But basically, you got two camps of people who are so protective of Dr. Disrespect and Kris simply because of their identity. Straight white male and trans. So then my question to the people who are actually like using Kris as like the spear to poke other people, like, yeah, keep that same energy up, guys. Here's my thing. If it comes out that Dr. Disrespect is guilty on all charges for trying to like meet up with a teenager, because the alleged age is like, I think it was like what, 15, 16 or something like that. That doesn't make him a pedophile, by the way. That makes him a hephebophile. Because you morons don't really read up on this shit, you dumb fucks. Excuse me. I can't tolerate dumbass. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm like the black version of Red from that 70s show. Like, I'm gonna stick more than just my foot up your ass. That's for damn sure. I can't stand stupid people, man. But it just goes to show you, like, how pure are other people who are jumping in on this shit. And this is why I say you just need to take it to the cops. You just need to take it to the cops because now you just got like a bunch of pedophiles and human traffickers. This brings my meme to life, by the way. Where human traffickers got you focused on fucking fictional characters while they're focusing on real children and shipping them around the world. Right? Allegedly. They got you focused on fictional characters. Meanwhile, behind the virtuous signal of KLM, Kids Lives Matter, is a literal, possibly, but considering how everyone's on a moral high, it's very highly likely that the people behind them are participating in human trafficking. And they don't even know, and they're none the wiser. This is why I don't jump on community shit. This is why I don't do drama videos. Like when people like bring like drama shit up to me, I'm like I don't want that. But it's hilarious. Yeah, I understand it's hilarious, but at the same time, I don't want to do this. Like I don't want to be associated with that shit because you don't know who the fuck you teaming up with, right? Next thing you know, everyone's like, "Oh, you and I have the same opinion. Let's collab. Let's be buddies." Yeah, what's your name? EDP 456. Huh, this guy's based. Right? Right? Like, how many people within the anti-Lolly community actually know that EDP 456 has the same fucking opinion as him? And by the same thing they're doing with Kris, by taking him to paint the LGBTQ as a whole as evil, hell, the LGBTQ can take EDP 456 and paint them as fucking evil. Tooth for a tooth, eye for an eye. But we're not interested in that, right? We're interested in the truth. We're interested in nuance. Right? We're interested in actually coming up with palpable solutions and not causing a problem and going, well, I may have caused that problem, but I do have another solution. You know, trust me, guys. I'm the expert. You know? Get you some friends, and it's a movie and not a documentary. Oh, did I call it a documentary? My bad. I call it an eldritch horror, to be honest. I will always remember how Moist Critical body sneak. Exactly. We got clips over here. Okay, first of all, you dumb motherfucker, it's not called a clip, it's called a mag. And that gun he had, like, goddamn, bro. Ooh, that gun Moist Critical had, that shit was sexy. What was that, by the way? Hold on. Look that up. What gun was that? That thing was sexy. Like how much money did he spend on that thing? Let's see, what's critical responds to Sneeko?
Hey Sneeko, does this outfit look
familiar?
familiar?
Oh yeah, here it is.
This is the same thing I wore last time I took you over my knee and spanked your bottom with some discipline. And I'm happy to report that these are back in stock and a lot more at moistglobal.com. The grammar police of guns, but he's a fucking imbecile, you absolute buffoon. What you have there is not clips. These are
oh, that thing is sexy. What is that? That thing is hot. Know what I'm doing after I'm doing after this stream. I'm gonna look that up. This is pornography, guys. Charlie is posting pornography. Let's keep watching.
mags. They're mags, not clips, you absolute fucking dummy. The same way that this is also
that damn thing.
Mag. They're all mags. Stop saying clips, you look fucking stupid here. Anyway, sorry for the gun. They're all mags.
Just look at that. What is that? I don't know what it is. I don't know how much it costs. I just want it. I don't know what it is. I don't know how much it costs, but I do want it. It's also true that Sneeko literally has double-digit IQ points. Okay, now you're just being too credible. You're being too modest. Like double-digit IQ points? Like I don't think you understand like what Sneeko is. Especially how quick he like jumps on the one thing and another. Like that when I say he's a self-hating Filipino, like there ain't no IQ up there, bro. Like he is a self-hating Filipino. And I agree because people should report Kris to police. Yeah. It's just people are milking a situation. They don't really fucking care. They're the same type of people that say Black Lives Matter and they turn around and shoot somebody that looks just like them simply because, you know, petty ass fucking reasons. Because what do you think they're going to do with that money at the end of the day? Put it in their pockets. Right? How many videos that most of these content creators are going to come up with instead of, you know, waiting for all the information to come out and then make the fucking video? That's why I hate the commentary community. That I hate it. I hate it so fucking much. But that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about because this shit got me. I knew when I looked at that first video and I started watching, something at the back of my fucking mind just told me something's not right. Oh, and well, actually no, that guy's not a pedophile. That guy's just a full blown fucking racist. Some guy named Rolo something. I forgot his name. He's from the Red Pill community. And this is why I say you need to be careful. Like a lot of people, like they're not your friends just because they say shit that you want to hear. All right. But at the exact same time, you know, you have to ask yourself, what are you looking for at the end of the day? Are you looking for Jesus? Like a lot of people are effectively looking for Jesus. Because, you know, all it takes is just one little clip of you saying something inappropriate or out of context, right? And everyone goes, oh, you're not the Messiah. You're not our Lord. You're not the guy I read in the Bible. My bad. They just walk off, you know? Honestly, I do feel like we do need to return back to actual Christianity, not white nationalist conservative Christianity. Those are two entirely different things. Avoid that secular shit, by the way. But yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to say. Like, this shit is just fucking wild. Like the whole thing is just fucking wild. So excuse the messy bed, everybody. I just got through well, I was taking a nap and then I woke up and I was like, oh shit, I'm late for my appointment, my pre-op appointment. So that's pretty much all I wanted to say. This shit is fucking wild. Be careful who you're getting information from because you don't entirely not sure like what the fuck they are. And just report the shit to the cops and the FBI. There's resources out there, guys. Funny enough, nobody's using it. And I think there was one video, I forgot the name. There was one video I forgot that made me go, this shit needs to be talked about. I forgot the name of it, but it was one of the tweets where that one guy was talking about Kris was sharing the link of that one Nickelodeon kid star. And I'm not entirely sure if he was talking about Kris was sharing the link or he himself talking to the people about Kris was encouraging them to click on the link to see the literal CP that Kris was actually sharing. Like, you see what I'm talking about? When people get like such moral highs and they don't trust the cops. Now you got, and I'm not saying this is a possibility because I may have misheard that shit, but now you got motherfuckers spreading actual CP under the guise of protecting children. But don't worry, guys, it's perfectly fine because he's trans, so it's perfectly fine. So and we're all straight males, but they're all straight white males, so it's perfectly fine, guys. Anyways, I just want to. So thanks for tuning in, guys. I may do one final conclusive follow-up on my discussion with Lolly, something a little more succinct. It may not be a stream. I'm thinking about doing a video. That way the points will be a lot more succinct and straight to the point, and actually delivers a very powerful message. So I may do a video. And that'll be my final thoughts on Lolly and LollyCon. Because I'll wrap it up here. I think it's perfectly fine. Because you want a substitute of something that actually reduces harm. And that's actually what I agree with Destiny. You can disagree with him about his take on the assassination of Trump and him being a piece of shit about shitting on that firefighter. Okay, that's perfectly fine. But when someone's right, they're right. We need palpable solutions to a rising mental health issue that is not being addressed. And last I checked, everyone has their favorite flavor of pedophile. One's trans, one's a straight white male, one's a pro-black activist. And the only thing that keeps them from being called out is their identity. If there's anything anyone needs to take away from this, is what protects evil is what you are so protective of. Straight white males, black people, trans, it don't matter. We are, as a society, are devolving into a country that tolerates pedophilia, in real life pedophilia, by the way. I want to make that abundantly clear, because there's a difference between in real life pedophilia and lolicon. Those are two entirely separate things. Separate fiction from reality. We are entering in a country where pedophilia is acceptable on certain circumstances, either by identity or gender identity. And we need to stop that. And that's it for this stream. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Wish me luck on the surgery, and take care. Oh, share the stream. Share the stream. Share the stream, please, by all means. Share it. Okay, bye.